All right, so this video is all about the best communities for retirees here in the city of Murrieta, California. I'm gonna go over the best communities, what I think makes them so great, kind of give you the highlights and the pros and the cons to them. So let's go ahead and get into it. Hey guys, hey again, my name is Justin Short. I'm a realtor and team leader with the Short Real Estate team here at Keller Williams, and this video is all about the top areas for retirees here in the city of Murrieta, California. So I'm gonna get to all the information. I'm gonna break down the best communities. I have 3 that I'm gonna go over, and I'm actually give you one bonus that's not actually a part of Murrieta, but I think is a good one to highlight for you guys to check out. But before I get into all the information, if you are liking real estate videos like this, please do me a favor. Please hit like, please hit subscribe to the channel. Obviously it helps me, it helps the channel as we're trying to continue to grow it. And we have new videos that we put out each week. And then if you guys have any real estate questions, of course, I'd love to hear from you. So you can feel free, you can call, you can text, or you can email me. My information is either going to be down below or it's going to be at the end of the video. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to answer any questions you may have. Or of course, if I can help you out with your real estate search, would love to help you do that as well. So that's how I earn a living. So I would love the opportunity. So, but let's get into all the information. So I'm going to go over the top 3 communities here in the city of Murrieta for retirees. And really what we're talking about are 55 plus communities. So most of Murrieta, well, I guess I'll word it this way. So there's about 110,000 people or so that live inside the city of Murrieta. Pretty much all of that is non-age restricted, so anyone can live there, right? And the average age for someone that lives in the city of Murrieta, the last stat I showed, was right about 36 years old. So there are not a ton of retirees here in the area, but they definitely do exist. There's plenty of them, and a lot of them choose to live in these handful of 55 plus communities. So what people like about 55 plus communities is they tend to be a little bit quieter, they tend to be a little bit less expensive, they tend to not have stairs, so mostly going to be single story. And if you've kind of had kids, or maybe never had kids, but you're a little bit older, you're over 55, you want a little bit quieter area, you don't want to deal with the riffraff, or you just want to live in a house that is maybe a little bit more affordable, I think these communities can be a really good option for you. One thing to note, and this is a question I get all the time in almost all 55 plus communities, in order to live there, all occupants, so everyone that lives in the house, must be age 55 or older. So the question that I get all the time is, hey, I'm buying this house, I'm gonna be living there, I'm, let's say, 70 years old, and then I have a child who is 35, 40, who's gonna be living with me. Is that okay? And the answer is no. The HOAs have pretty strict rules about this. I've seen people try to buy houses that way and have their son or daughter live with them or some other person and not tell anybody. And really what ends up happening is you live in a small community, all the neighbors know what's going on, and they're gonna raise a red flag, they're gonna report it to the HOA, and that person's gonna have to move out, and you might have to sell your house because of your living situation. So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure you follow the rules. There are 2 exceptions to that. There's one community that does allow some occupants to be a little bit younger. We're actually going to talk about that in a little bit. And then some people do go out and get or have a medical waiver as well. So sometimes if you are over age 55 and if you can get a doctor's note showing that you need a caregiver, and that caregiver is a family member, or I guess it could be someone else, but I mostly see it as a family member who lives with you, is going to help take care of you. And a lot of the HOAs will allow that and think that will be acceptable and allow that caregiver to live with you with that doctor's exemption. So, but they're pretty strict. You need to have the doctor's notes. Some of them I think even have to have 2 doctor's notes, and not even all communities are okay with that. So some are a little bit more lenient with that compared to others. So if that is a route you're going to go, you really want to check with each HOA and see exactly what their rules are. But those are kind of some general rules of thumbs for you. So. But I'm going to get to the top 3. So there are really 3 main 55 plus communities in Murrieta. There are some other options, but most of them tend to be like mobile home communities. So what those are like parks, like a mobile home park. where you can buy a house there. When you buy a house there, they tend to be pretty cheap. So a lot of times they're 100 grand, 150 grand, that type of thing. But when you buy that house, you are only buying the house. So you're not buying the property, you're not buying the land. So you're buying the house, and then you still pay a space rent each month to lease the land that you're living on. So in this area, it's very common that lease maybe $900, $1,000, $1,100 a month. That is not something that I really deal with at all. Not something that I recommend for most people. I mean, some people you're going to be on a budget. You got to find something affordable, so that might be a good fit for you. But for most people, I think it's a much better advantage if you can try and buy a traditional home where you own the land. That's kind of your traditional real estate. So, anyways, number one on my list, the top community for retirees in the 55 plus communities. Number one is going to be the Colony. So the Colony, I think, is a really cool community. I've sold many homes in there. I have many clients who live in there and have lived in there in the past. What I think makes it so great is, one, the location. So that is located right in the middle of Murrieta. So it's right in central Murrieta. It's right between the 15 freeway and the 215 freeway. It's right around plenty of shopping, right around, from shopping, entertainment, easy access to the freeways. I think it's just a really, really great location. Not only that, it is the only community that we're going to talk about that is guard gated, so which I think is really nice. So there's 3 entrances. There's only one that you can go in as a guest because you have to go through the guard. You have to show your ID. They're super strict. So if you want a strict community that is really on top of their P's and Q's and make sure all your neighbors are on top of their P's and Q's, it can be a really good place to live. For some people, I've had a lot of clients who feel like that it is just too strict for them. So that's something to weigh. But the Colony, I think, is a really great community. Again, the location is great. And then all the amenities that they have there as well. So besides the guard gated community, they also have a great big clubhouse. There's community pool, community spa, community gym. They do a ton of activities out of the clubhouse for clubs and meetings and getaways and all types of stuff. They have tennis courts. There's a little restaurant that's there as well, right next door. And then there's a public golf course that's throughout the community as well. So I think it is the top 55 plus community in the area, in the city of Murrieta at least. What's kind of interesting about it, the homes are built anywhere from probably like 1994 to, I would say, 2000, 2001. So with that, they're starting to get a little bit older. I mean, you're getting now 20 to 30-year-old homes. So many of them have been remodeled over the last handful of years, and many have not. So you kind of get a hodgepodge. You might get an old original home that needs quite a bit of updating. That's going to be a little bit less expensive. You might find something, down to the mid 400,000 range, and then you might find something that is just totally remodeled, totally modern. Someone's dumped a ton of money into it, new flooring and kitchen and windows and all types of stuff, and that's going to be a little more expensive, somewhere north of 600,000 range. So you have a pretty good spread price-wise, but I think it's a really nice community, and if you are looking for a 55 plus community, it's something I recommend that you check out. So, number 2 on my list is the community of the Knolls. So the Knolls is it's really a combination of 3 different communities all put together, but we're just going to refer to them as the Knolls all together, kind of lump them together. What's different about this is a manufactured home community. So what that means is they are not your traditional stick-built homes. They're manufactured homes that are dropped there on the property, but they are almost all out on a permanent foundation. So what that means is if you buy a home here, you are buying the whole property. So you're buying the land, you're buying the house, you are buying it just like traditional real estate. The advantage is that because they're manufactured homes, they tend to be a little bit less expensive. So your price point is going to be a little bit lower. You can probably find a home in there somewhere in that mid 300,000 range up to the mid 400,000 range. So it's a pretty good savings compared to the other 55 plus communities. And it's another one where I think the location is really, really great. So it's located more on the east side of Murrieta, right off Murrieta Hot Springs. Again, it's a little more affordable. The HOA is still pretty good. They have a real nice community pool. And again, just going to be a more affordable option that I think is a really good place for people to check out. So number 2 is a Knolls. The third community on my list is the community of Four Seasons. You probably have heard of that before. There's a ton of Four Seasons communities throughout the country. This one here in Murrieta is kind of interesting. It is not guard gated. Most are, so it is not guard gated, but it is located right on the border of Temecula and Murrieta. So again, the location's really good. You are probably 5 minutes from the Temecula Mall, so which is great, really right off of Winchester Road. And it is the newest of homes, the newest of 55 plus communities that are in Murrieta. So those homes were built anywhere from, I believe, probably about 2002 to 2008, right around that range. So definitely going to be a little bit newer homes than the Colony. Because of that, you're going to pay a little bit more price point though as well. So homes are a little bit more expensive. You can find homes in there anywhere from, I would say, about 600,000 to about 700, maybe a little bit north of low 700,000 range right now. So going to be a little bit more price point than the Colony, but they're going to be newer. And also when you have a newer home, you tend to have a little bit more of an open concept layout, which people tend to like as well. Again, same really great HOA, great clubhouse, community pool, community spa, lots of activities, tennis courts, all that good stuff. So I think it's a really cool place to check out as well. And so those are really the three communities in Murrieta that I want to talk about that I think are the top ones in Murrieta. And then the bonus one that I wanted to mention is actually in the city of Temecula. So for the last, I guess, forever, but since I've been selling real estate, people have always asked me, what are the top 55 plus communities in Temecula? And those did not exist. There was not any 55 plus community that is like your traditional stick-built homes. Those were not out there until recently. So over the last couple years, a new community has been built. These are newer homes that are super modern, super open. They're built anywhere from, I believe, about 2021 to 2024. So very, very new, and that is the community of Esplanade at Summers Bend. So again, it's actually located inside the city of Temecula. It's right on the border of Temecula, Murrieta, but they are new. They're not guard gated, but they are gated. They have a great clubhouse, and because they're so new and shiny, they have quartz counters and open layouts and high ceilings, and just I think just are really, really nice homes all throughout. So. They're definitely by far the most expensive of any of the homes that we're talking about, but Temecula tends to be a little more expensive as well. So price point's going to be probably anywhere from about 800,000 to about 900,000, give or take a little bit depending on the house and the lot and whatnot, but that's going to give you a pretty good rough range. So that would be another one if you have the budget that I would check out and at least pay attention to, and see if you see any decent options for yourself in there as well. So. Anyways, I hope that helps you guys out. Those are the three communities in Murrieta, plus the one bonus. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. You can call, you can text, you can email, and hopefully talk to you soon. Thanks.